Hello, beloved church family of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Judith Roberts, and I'll be your host tonight. I welcome you to our midweek Oasis Wednesday night service. As you'll be able to experience tonight, our Wednesday night Oasis is a place where we come together as a community to be spiritually refreshed between Sundays. Most Wednesday night services build upon the theme of the previous Sunday, expressing science of mind principles and practices with the intentions that the gatherings be informal, intimate, and interactive. Our annual theme for 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Our monthly theme for July is Rolling in the Deep. Last Sunday, Lucian Baker introduced ideas inspired by the talk title of Honor Your Boundaries. And tonight, our speaker will speak about going beyond your boundaries. So as we gather tonight, I welcome you. If you're new to our community or watching our recording, please visit our homepage at www.oaklandcsl.org and click the I'm New icon. And look at the lower left-hand corner of that page to submit your email address. Once you do, you'll begin receiving the village news on Thursdays in your email. It has all the information of what's coming up at the center in the coming weeks. Before we get started with the talk, please mute your audio. And during tonight's service, you can leave your camera on, but muting your audio helps with the quality of our recording and also with tonight's transmission. Please stay tuned through the end of the service to receive special and important announcements. So I want to introduce our speaker. Our speaker tonight is Mark Juarez. Mark is a purpose-driven entrepreneur, speaker, and lifelong believer in the power of human potential. His work focuses on helping people find meaning and joy and connection through the work they do and the lives they lead. Whether guiding leaders, bridging generations, or simply inviting us to listen more deeply to our hearts, Mark is committed to building a more positive and purpose-filled world. He's here today to share a message about overcoming the inner barriers that hold us back and stepping into who we're truly meant to be. Mark invented a massager and marketed it through his Happy Company. He's the founder of the Happy Company, and it became the best-selling massager in the world. And in addition to that, he's written 5 books, including The Happiness Revolution and Words of Wisdom. So, Mark, thank you in advance for being our speaker tonight.
You're welcome.
As we do with every organized event at the center, we open with prayer. So I will be offering the prayer tonight. So if you can just settle in, perhaps close your eyes, take a breath with me. We'll just settle into this beautiful stillness of this beautiful day, knowing that life is a gift, knowing that our very breath is a gift, our very existence is a gift, and just recognizing so much that we have, feeling gratitude for all of the gifts in our lives, all the grace in our lives, and knowing that we are connected as beings, as human beings. We're very, very, very deeply connected in our hearts just by the fact that we've been given the gift of human life. And so I'm grateful for this and for all the beauty of creation, all the beauty of creation. And I know that as this service unfolds tonight, it reflects the beauty of creation. And that Mark, as he delivers his talk tonight, he's guided by spirit. He's guided by, he's in a flow. He's in a flow of spirit, and he's just guided by the divine, by the divine. That one that flows through all of us, each one of us. And so I know that as this talk unfolds tonight, and as we move into the interactive portion of it, at the latter part of it, that we are held in the presence. We are in the divine presence, and Spirit is moving through Mark and moving through us. And we are deepened and enriched and lifted up by Mark's talk tonight. And so I give thanks for this and the more, and for everybody who is attending this talk in the moment online, and everyone who watches it later, who watches the recording at a later date. And so I give thanks for this and the more, and invite you to say with me, and so it is. Amen. So I'd like to now turn this over to Mark Juarez.
Thank you. And thank you for such a beautiful prayer. That's so wonderful. Tonight's talk, and just to give you a little background, in 1984, I did a bicycle trip around the world. My knees went out. That's what led to um, learning massage and ultimately developing the happy massager. But they told me that they would either could do surgery on it and I could had a 50% chance of it getting better or 50% chance that I can either run or walk. But I was a marathon runner, and there was a story that really moved me. In 1984, Roger, I don't remember his last name, broke the 4 minute mile. Up to that point, nobody thought you could ever run a mile in 4 minutes. And once he did, in that same year, 4 or 5 other people also broke the 4 minute mile. What I'm trying to illustrate in that is that we live in boxes and we think we can't venture outside that box, hence boundaries. And we can't. And when we live a life of possibility and what can be done, it's extraordinary what we can accomplish. The Happy Massager became the world's best selling massage tool. So many people told me, I remember one person said, don't give up your daytime job. You'll never make any money selling this. And the best selling massager up to this point was only selling 10,000 a year, and they could barely make a living on that. We were selling over 10,000 a day. And it shows what's possible. And the way we achieved this was everybody that came to work for me. I didn't have much money, and so I couldn't afford to hire people that were really experienced. But instead, I hired people that were uh, eager to to become part of our company because we believed we could change the world. And when you sometimes don't know what's possible, you could achieve extraordinary things. Often the world places boundaries, places boxes around us, and that's what prevents us from from achieving can what we can possibly do. The the other part of this and why I'm so inspired by the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is I always thought that work should be a spiritual path. It should be something that has much deeper meaning. It has purpose. It has reasons. It's an opportunity to give back to others. We live that way. It's absolutely amazing what we can accomplish. And that was um, also another way of living beyond our boundaries and what we can achieve. I'm There's so many people in the world who have I've been inspired by and extraordinary things that they have done. There's mm, looking at, for example, Martin Luther King and Gandhi, Mother Teresa. They lived to make a difference in the world, and it's absolutely amazing what they were able to accomplish. Martin Luther King, in a speech, once said, one of his speeches I love, and it's less known, is that when we discover our life purpose, but we choose not to do it because we're afraid we're going to be bombed, or, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm probably not doing a great job of it. Um, we we cease to live, and we've got to live our fullest. We don't let others define what we can do. We've got to go out and live far beyond that. And another speech that was given by Nelson Mandela that was, for me, really defining in my life. And I want to open it up too, if anybody has any comments. But Judith, could you read that as that speech by Nelson Mandela? It was going to come at the end,
You
but I
mean
wanted to read
the
that
one that was attributed to him, but that Marianne Williamson wrote?
Marianne Williams wrote. Marianne Williams wrote it, but
Yes,
Nelson
I can
Mandela.
read it. I can read it. Just let me get it in the right place on my screen and I will read it. And I think many people have heard this before, but it's one that bears listening to again. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So back to you, Mark.
Thank you. You did a fantastic job reading it. There's, in our company, to be honest, when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. But what I felt was work should be fun, it should be playful, that we took a baseline of what everybody was doing, and then I encouraged them. How far beyond that could we go? What we accomplished was extraordinary. 5 universities did case studies on our company to try to understand what we were doing so differently that allowed us to grow. We had no idea. But because we had no idea what our boundaries were. We didn't know what we couldn't do. we only set our goals on what was so far above that. And I know the talk was meant to be what we about boundaries. I love going beyond those boundaries. I love going and finding the impossible to do it. And when people in the company exceeded so far beyond what anybody thought possible, it became the fuel for everybody to break boundaries, to go far beyond those boundaries. And it became so energizing, so exciting. And as it said in the talk by Miriam, the speech that Miriam Williams wrote, nobody is served by playing small. We should all strive to go way beyond that. As Martin Luther King said, when we find that gift that we have, we need to live it fully and and go far beyond. One of my favorite books was Jonathan Livingston Seagull, where there's where he was attempting to go far beyond. And when I was doing the bicycle trip, I kept reflecting on that story. It was so exciting to me. How far can I go? How can I do the impossible? And it's it's powerful. And I believe that in the books, I started to study this to great depth. There's 80% of Americans are disengaged at work, and it's because they have no purpose. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel challenged at work. And when we challenge people, when we allow them to go far beyond what they think is possible, it becomes so exciting. And that's, yes, it's really powerful. And I wanted, especially that we're so few people, for it to be interactive. I'll continue talking, but does anybody have any questions? And if so, we have to unmute. But I'll continue. Another part of it, another book I read was Bridging the Generational Divide. It's the first time in history we've had 5 generations working under one roof. It's fascinating, but often people don't understand each other. And communication is so important in any relationship, particularly in a work relationship. And what's so interesting is through each generation, it's fascinating we how those generations were formed through the events that were happening in the world. But the oldest generation, the traditionalist, is 79 and older. The baby boomer, my generation, is um, the traditionalists were influenced by the Second World War, by the scarcity, by so many things. Our generation was rebuilding the world, and we saw the world through a whole different perspective, all the way to the Z generation, which is the youngest, and how words have changed, how we look at the world has changed, how our perspective. The Z generation is often viewed, by my generation at least, as being lazy or not working hard. But they, in fact, are willing to work very hard if it's a cause they believe. And that's something I really value. Our company we wanted to change the world through caring touch, through the massage, through the idea that of connecting with people. And when we were accomplishing that, everyone got so excited about coming to work, about being a part of something so huge. And that makes a huge difference to people. And and the words of wisdom, which was yet another book, was on the idea that taking quotes, and quotes are powerful. There's so much wisdom in it, but looking at those quotes as they pertain to business, as they pertain to living, as they pertain mm, um, to life in general, and putting those together and looking for the deeper meanings in those. It's so hence I think that living a life of no boundaries, or living a life of going beyond those boundaries, is is really exciting and really powerful. And yeah, um, the time went by far faster than I imagined. Um, there's I think what's also something big, powerful for me is, as I alluded to earlier, when you make work a spiritual path, when you make it, um, how you find so much more meaning in everything that you're doing. And that's something that was, well, very exciting to me. And watching that in the workplace, very few jobs tend to make it that way. And it was something we did in our company. And it was powerful. We did it. We had a meditation room. We defined things. Um, Part of it too was appreciating everybody. And the power of appreciation is really powerful. And yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question, Mark.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, we're talking about the power of appreciation and eh, eh, and I'm sure that in your company that's part of what that sense of respect and appreciation for of all the coworkers is
Mhm.
probably something that helped the company move beyond what you thought you could accomplish. And how was appreciation expressed, or was there did you have like a process for expressing appreciation, or how did that happen?
It's a really good question. There's, you know, it started with just, I appreciated people. And I was so in awe at what each person accomplished. And I was reading a book by Dale Carnegie on how to win friends and influence people. And he kind of alluded to the sense of recognize what people do well. And I, it started with that, but we absolutely grew on it. And we, he also talked about kind of creating a friendly contest between people. And when we started measuring what people were doing, there was a phrase in business, what's measured improves. And, but when they did improve, we celebrated. And I was just like, I remember one guy, we created a point system where every time somebody made a massager, they got a point. And if they made it wrong and it was rejected, they lost 10 points. But as people started, we well, I asked them to set goals, which were far greater than what I would ever imagine. And I'm like, really? You could do that? And then that became even a greater incentive. We did something on Mondays. I'd heard on the way to work once on the radio that Monday morning is when most people have heart attacks.
Oh,
And I think it's because they're dread going to work. And so I thought about it and I thought, what can we do to start our day or start our week that was really exciting? And we brought everybody in the company together, and each of the departments were ran as if they were separate companies. But we asked them, what did they accomplish that week? What could they brag about? And as they bragged about it, we all and very genuinely, it's like, oh, that's awesome. And we believed in not competition, but cooperation. They kind of competed in some ways, but each department was different. And as every department got better, the entire company got better and everybody won. And it became really exciting. And it was also an opportunity to bring up any challenges they were having. And then we asked the company as a collective, what can we do to help them? What can we do to help their department? And they came up with the most brilliant ideas. And having creating a community, it's funny, once somebody said, we're a family. And somebody said, actually, no, because in a family, you don't get to choose always who is your brother and sister. We're a community because we're all here focusing on one thing to make the world a better place through the products we make. And there's, and we support each other in that endeavor. And it was truly exciting. And we also, as part of this, it was back in the day before email, that people used to send us letters, handwritten or written on a typewriter. And those letters were so exciting. And how, as an example, one letter that was really touched my heart was written by a 13-year-old girl. And she said that she, the massager gave her strength and hope. She would hold it. And and one thing I found odd was she talked about how she massaged her leg. And I thought, well, why isn't her English was so good? And I thought, why is she not saying legs? And she had lost one of her legs to cancer. And the massager was giving her strength to to um, to go on. But we wrote her back. But she became our poster child of recognizing that we weren't just making massagers. We took her picture and we put it on the wall and we said, this is the person we're making the massager for. Because it was so, her stories touched all of our hearts. And we wrote back and forth every week. Um, and many of our people, but hers was particularly meaningful to us all. And because it gave us a face, a reason for making our products.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a
Look,
great story. Yeah. And the Monday, did you say there was something on Mondays that you did something special on Mondays?
Monday mornings, we began our week by everybody. We began our week by everybody coming together, and each department would um, would talk about their wins, their to brag about,
Oh, their wins. That's what you said. Talk about their wins and everybody would support them.
and would support them. And um, it's so interesting because our story was the case studies were done by the five universities, and actually Stanford did two case studies. So there was a total of six case studies. They were read all over the world. Companies as far as French Telecom, which is a massive company, it's huge. They came out to study us. They said, "What are you doing differently? Like, how do you do this?" And um, it was really exciting. UPS came and studied what we were doing in shipping because we came up with such unique shipping processes. And all those things they were going way beyond their boundaries, but because they didn't know was possible. And I used to just challenge them. It was like, hey, what can we do to make this better? And um, in accounting, we came up with really great systems. And HR, for sure, we did things so differently that even HR companies came and said, "Wow, no one's ever done this before." And so it's really exciting to think out of the box and to bring it back to the subject of the talk, to go beyond your boundaries. And um, it was incredibly exciting for me. And we're restarting the company. We closed it 10 years ago. Now we're restarting it with a massager. But we're also all looking and saying, what can we do to completely change the landscape of how we work, how we live our lives? With COVID, it just changed the world in a lot of ways. With AI now coming on, it's created a lot of fear around the workplace. Um, and we were looking at all the different projects that we could take on to create, to make work exciting again.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I,
Hmm.
the Center for Spiritual Living it's for me, Sunday is the beginning of the work week and or the week, and it gives me that inspiration. So I'm so glad to be a part of the community.
Mhm.
Grady has a hand up.
Grady, yes.
Yes, I appreciate the power of appreciation. And I wanted to know, can you give any idea of how this massager works?
Oh, of course, yes. Um, in the body, there's two. Um, there's acupressure points all throughout the body, from the head to the toe, and if you push two of them, there's actually a synergy. For example, there's um, here for the lungs, if you push one, it feels really good. If you push two of them, it's far more powerful. These acupressure points, most of them are six, which the back legs are 6, 8, or 10 centimeters apart. And when I've tried to think, how can I create a massager that could stimulate all those points? And do I create three of them? One that's 6, one 8, and one 10? And it didn't feel like that was a very good solution. And I went to bed really late after sketching all these ideas, and a dream came to me of this. And And I thought, oh, this is it. 4 legs. I could stimulate. It basically is, you know, it would hit all the points. And I developed it. And at the same time, I was writing a book, All is Possible. And I thought, you know, the power of smiling, the power of positive thinking. And when I put a face on it, it just came to life. And I honestly believe this is part of the magic of the happy massager. And so many
Mm.
people just bought it because they thought, oh, it was really cute. But when you actually use it, it it's powerful. And now um, people are finding that everybody thought when I was learning massage, it was just um, it was to massage the muscles. It was to do the nerves. It was to stimulate acupressure points. What they're now discovering is that you've got to break up the in the body the fascia, and you have to start from the feet and work your way up, and that's where you get the most powerful results. And as they're developing this technique, I gave them a friend of mine who's working with the institute, a massager, and she said, "Wait, this is so much better than all the other tools we've tried. We've tried tennis balls and golf balls and all these different balls and other type tools, but nothing compared to this because it just gets in so deep and it's so easy to hold. And the idea is to hold it and just slowly go deeper and deeper and deeper. But it's kind of hard to do it with a tennis ball that way. But with a massager,
So
it fits right
can
in.
I put on them or you need someone else to use it on you?
Well, actually, they were saying when they started to experiment with it, like they would use it like this, and you don't
Mm,
necessarily need somebody else to do it, and you could put it behind your chair on the back and just lean into it,
mm.
and in fact, they put so much pressure. They were like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to break it," and we made it so strong that we could put out 125 pounds. And I said, I don't think you're going to put that much pressure. We we offered a lifetime guarantee, and we've never had anybody break the massager while they were using it. We've had,
Do you have a site?
I'm sorry,
Do you have a website?
we do. It's called the Happy Company.
Say that again, please.
The THE Happy HAPPY Company COMPANP
Company.
COMPANY.com.
Okay, well, you said several things. You started off with saying live a life of possibilities. I really like that. And I'm interested in a couple of the books. The one of them has to do with happiness, and one has to do with wisdom. So, are your books available like at Barnes or Amazon or?
I'm leaving in 2 weeks just to go to China to go into print. We're just finishing up the books now, and
Mhm.
they will be available either through Amazon on print on demand. But we also wanted to make a beautiful book, which we couldn't do on a print on demand. And so we're also going to have a really beautiful printed version, um, which hopefully should be available in about 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay, well, I don't want to take up any more time. I'm a baby boomer also, and
Um,
I feel, in living forward, I don't feel appreciated at times or challenged or heard because I think that, younger people think, well, why don't you just rest and let me do this or that? I'm not interested in anybody just totally taking over my whole life because I still feel I can put one foot in front of the other and get some things accomplished. Um,
oh,
so
yeah.
and somebody or maybe you said something about living your I don't want to live in a in an assigned box, so to speak. I don't. I do not. And so Anyway, I appreciate your talk, and I wish I could read more by writing, but
You know,
any-
what we could do, I could send it through um, with Judith maybe, or but I have links, and I'm happy to share with anybody on the talk today um, the email links, and so we um, I'll pass it on to Judith if you want to, or you can write me. I'm Mark at thehappycompany.com is
oh,
my email, and I'll send you the links.
that-
They're
okay. Thank you, Mark.
and and they're ebooks. They're also in audio form. So if you, because a lot of people don't have time to read, I don't, and so I prefer audio. And then the and then we also did tiny books, which are small. They're kind of they look. We're just about to go to print, but they look like this, and they're just tiny little books, but we can get quite a few words in them. And they also um,
Oh, I
they're really easy to read like that. So,
right.
um, um, and we've each of the books are summarized in the tiny book, as well as we wrote our manifesto and how to use the happy massager. So, six of those books will come with the massager when we finally release it.
Well, thank you very much, Mark
You're
and
welcome.
Judith.
Thank you. Yeah, Grady, great questions. Mark, I have one comment on something you said that
Um,
really struck me. Um, and that is, I thought this just touched my heart. It's profound. You didn't have the answer. You were looking for how could you make this thing? You had the vision of it, but you didn't have the how to do it. And you got it in a dream. And you know, Einstein got a lot of his knowledge came in dreams. And
Mm,
I thought, how profound. You know, that spirit coming through and giving it to you in a
yes.
dream. That's so beautiful that this whole thing, this thing that just took off came to you in a dream. I just think that's so beautiful.
I so appreciate your saying that because I was just in a meeting a few days ago, and the idea is to listen to that voice inside, to let those dreams come out, to never question them, but to do it. And honestly, I made a business plan for this, and I thought, the obvious customer were massage therapists. Yet in the end, they represent less than 1/10 of 1%. It was it was crazy how the when I just let it evolve and listen to that little voice inside that says, try this, do that. And some of them just seem crazy, but the results were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's the mystery, that's the mystery speaking to you. And
mhm,
that's an awesome story. Because I didn't know that part of the story. You had told
mhm.
me a lot about how the Happy Company evolved, but I didn't know about this solution coming in a dream. And that's awesome.
it is.
And that you listened to it and you followed it.
Mhm.
Also, Judith said we did not know what we could not do. And so I like that because and the examples of the 4 minute mile and so forth and I liked it. I like several things. I want to make a couple of affirmations out of what I heard tonight. Thank you.
I would love that.
Oh, that's beautiful, Grady. That's just
You know, please write me. I would love to send you the book. We've also created appreciation cards, inspiration cards, and I am cards. I am um, for each of them. There's 108 of each card. The I am card. What we took is I have the belief that whatever you put in front of I am, you can achieve it. And so we took 108 words from I am beautiful, I am strong, I am mm, um, wise, I am curious. And those things are, on the back is the meaning of that. But it's so powerful and so exciting. And the idea of those cards is that you pick one for that day and you take on that persona. So you can go ahead and say, I'm brilliant, and to live your life that day to feel like it's like trying on a pair of
Are
shoes.
they on the website, Mark?
They're just about to go on,
They can be ordered, in other words.
and they can be ordered, um, and we're just finishing it now. So I've been working day and night to get these
Wow.
mixed together so um, we could get them made when I go to China. So we're having them printed in China, and I'm
Right.
really excited.
I have a question. Uh, the appreciation in how you run your company, did this come from experience or in the dream?
Um, it, it came from experience. When I was traveling, it's funny. I started out hitchhiking around the world, and then driving, then doing my bicycle trip. When I was hitchhiking, everybody said how hard it was and it was going to be really difficult. I took a different perspective. I thought, what's what excitement is going to happen today? And every car that drove by, I looked at it and thought, are you the one? Are you going to be the one that picks me up? And when I got in, I was so excited. I'm like, hi, my name's Mark, and what's your name? And what do you do? And I was so curious about this. And I realized, wait, why is everybody else having such a difficult time getting rides? It never took me more than 5 or 10 minutes. And every ride I got was so extraordinary. But what was so interesting was so many people said, you know, we never pick up hitchhikers, but there was something about you that was different. And so we thought we'd give it a try. And oh my gosh, this made the trip go so fast. And I realized my interest in them was part of that magic. And they and I guess then it extended on to appreciation. When people came to work for me, I wanted them to feel I couldn't afford to pay them very much. And I wanted to give them something that was meaningful. And I realized the greatest gift I could give them was to appreciate them and to bring out of them their magic, their gift. And every person that came, I looked to say, what's special about that person? And how do I build on that? That's kind of what I was doing when I was hitchhiking. But it was because I wanted to give them value in exchange for them giving me a ride. And and that became the exciting part of my trip was who I was meeting. I almost didn't care where I was going. I just cared far more about how I was getting there. Who was that person that was going to give me a ride? And how can I add value to their lives?
Hmm, okay.
Okay. It's been really wonderful talking to you today. And thank you, Judith and Lula, Lula, and Grady. You asked all great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And it is now 7:49. Do you have to, is it
I have,
time for you to take off, Mark?
it is. I rented a room to make this call because I'm in Los Angeles. So I they asked to start wrapping up 10 minutes before the hour. So thank
So,
you so much.
so I want to tell everybody that Mark had told me in advance as host that he has to leave a little bit early, but it's right at the time that we segue into our announcements. So Mark will have to leave. And before he does, I want to give you just tell you how much we appreciate this talk and the inspiration that you've shared tonight. And thank you for your talk. And let's everybody give Mark some appreciation. I know everyone's cameras aren't on, but let him know how much we appreciate his being here tonight and saying yes to the invitation.
Yes.
Yes,
You.
yes, it was very interesting. Thank you so much. It was very, very interesting.
And
Yeah.
please email me at mark@thehappycompany.com and which you can see on my screen, maybe right below here, and .com, and I will send you links to the four books and the cards in tiny books.
I have
And
the tiny books.
I'm sorry.
I said I have the tiny books.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
Perfect. And they're giving the morning now. We have to wrap up. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mark. You're welcome.
Have a
So
blessed
now with that, we'll segue into the announcements. And Freddie, are we ready for the announcements?
Yep, they're
Yeah.
up.
Because I don't see a slide up. Are the slides up?
They're up.
Yes.
Okay, then there it is. I see. Okay, well, give me a minute here because I need to do something with my screen so that I have this all synchronized together. Okay, I got it now. So here we go on our announcements. This Sunday, July 27th, Rev. Deb Hammond, practitioner, will be speaking on Go Deep. Meditation starts at 10, followed by service at 10:30. Meditation, oh, and I guess that's it on Deb. Yeah, that's a beautiful picture, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, that was lovely. Okay, and now on Wednesday, July 30th, Aaron Stewart will be speaking on Go Deep for our midweek Oasis service for an encore discussion. And again, as with every Wednesday, meditation is at 6:30 and our service begins at 7. Tickets for the 80th anniversary gala on September 20th are on sale. Get your early bird tickets at the 10% discounted price until August 1st. Visit oaklandcsl.org/events. Our 80th anniversary bag is now available in the bookstore. And the next open forum will be on Sunday, July 27th at 1 p.m. We encourage in-person participation or join us via live stream if needed. All are encouraged to attend. Our monthly community potluck will be held after service prior to the forum. And the Diversity Circle meets on July 25th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The topic will be comedy and wokeness. Is wokeness killing comedy, perpetrating power structures, or simply providing more material? Are certain topics off the table? Have they always been? There are serious considerations when it comes to comedy, so we're sure to have an interesting discussion. Love offering of $10 to $15 is suggested, but no one turned away for lack of funds. And join Amy Chovnik on Saturday, August 2nd at 11 a.m. on our patio and learn how to use bleach to dye denim and give a modern update to a pair of jeans or perhaps recycle denim scraps into other items. Bring your 100% cotton denim article and your creativity. Each spot in the crafting party is $40. Visit oaklandcsl.org/class to claim your spot. Sounds fun. And please join Irene Sardonis for a writing workshop. Sit Right Down. Sunday, August 3rd, from 1 to 3 p.m. in the social hall. Bring a pen and paper. No writing experience necessary. Prompts will be offered to inspire your writing. A $25 love offering is encouraged, and no one will be turned away for lack of funds. Again, visit oaklandcsl.org/classes/workshops for more information. The OCSL Social Justice Ministry meets on the first Sunday, August 3rd, in the Social Hall from 1 to 3 p.m. Join us in sacred activism to create a world that works for everyone.
Isn't that, oh, sorry.
So there is still time to join our chair dedication campaign. Create your own plate inscription that will go on the back of a chair in our sanctuary or social hall. 4 levels to choose from. Platinum is 500, 5 lines. Gold is 200, 4 lines. Silver is 100, 3 lines. And bronze is 2 lines. Include yourself, family, friends, ancestors, or organizations in the dedication, or share lines with someone else to reduce the cost. Again, visit ocsl.org/events to register. And our nonprofit partner for July and August is Inside Circle. And they will present their mission to our congregation. I'm not sure which day they'll present, but they will present. Inside Circle is a nonprofit that is dedicated to fostering personal growth and healing among individuals impacted by the justice system, creating transformative programs for peace inside the prison system, programs for currently and formerly incarcerated youth transitioning back into society, and much more. Visit their website at insidecircle.org for more information. And the Spirit Treasure Bookstore celebrates July with Meditating in the Garden. Items featured on the 30% table include Buddha garden statues, malas, wind chimes, singing bowls, and journals. Be sure to pick up your OCSL 80th anniversary bags, also for $15 plus tax. And now I want to highlight our contact team. Everybody pictured here is a key person in our community who is doing great work and helps keep our community running and thriving. So we want to give a shout out to all of them. And also, please visit our website at theoaklandcsl.org and sign up for your weekly newsletter, The Village News. Remember to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook for special updates, and like and subscribe to the Oakland Center today. Visit csl.org to see what's happening with our Centers for Spiritual Living global organization.
No.
And now we'll segue into can you go back one slide, Freddie? We'll segue into our joyous giving time. We receive so much. We receive so much and feel so much gratitude. And this is an opportunity to return some of that, to give back. And so I'd invite you to say with me this quote that's on the screen here. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies this offering. It blesses all that I am, all that I give, and all that I circulate. Thank you, love, as me. And so it is. And so anything you feel inspired to offer is gratefully accepted. And as we know, that as we give, so we receive, as that statement says. So now, if you would like to see how you can offer something to the center, we'll go to the next slide. If you go to oaklandcsl.org and you click on the donate button, next slide, you'll see different ways that you can donate. You can use Zelle, you can use the QR code, you can text to give, you can write a check. And of course, if you're there in person, you can put something in the offering basket. So many ways, and credit cards are accepted. So we hope that you'll feel inspired to offer something, and we gratefully accept any amount. Thank you very much. And now I want to thank everybody who's participated in the service and attended the service tonight. I want to thank, of course, Mark has already left, but I want to give a shout out again to Mark for his talk. I want to thank Freddie who led our opening meditation. And Freddie is also behind the scenes running our PowerPoints and spotlighting people and getting us set up in the beginning. So thank you, Freddie, for everything you have done and everything you do. I also want to thank all of our ministers for their support. Even though they're not here tonight, they're behind the scenes. Reverend Elena Hutchinson hosts this meeting every other week. Reverend Ikea Param is a great support and often is attending on Wednesdays. And of course, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman is our senior minister, and she is behind the whole she oversees everything. So I want to give a shout out to all of them. And I want to give a shout out to Steve Carter, our operations coordinator, who prepares the slides for this and does a lot of behind the scenes work so that these evenings can run smoothly. So with that, I'd like to again thank all of you for attending, and I want to close us out in prayer. So let's just take a moment, take a breath. How good it is. How good it is to be here together. We were a small and mighty group tonight, and how good it is to be together, to share our hearts, to open our hearts, to hear the wisdom and inspiration and experience that Mark shared that can lift us up, that can inspire us to reach further and go deeper and break our own barriers, go beyond our own barriers. So I know that this has been a lovely evening. It's been a sweet and peaceful evening. I want to just bless everybody on their way, wherever you are and whatever is next in your evening, wishing that it be fruitful, peaceful, and lovely, and filled with love, filled with love, the love of the one, the love of the Creator, the love of life. And so I thank you all and bless you, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is.